Hello there guys and girls, I'm so happy you're all enjoying Valkyria Chronicles. Welcome back! This is episode 6, is it? I think it's episode 6, I might be wrong. Don't shoot me. Shoot the Imperials. We are on chapter 4, Operation Cloudburst. This is where we have to make sure that Rosie and Largo and the rest of the squad understands that we are actually here to help win the battle, we're not out for fame, and we're actually pretty capable. So let's get straight into chapter 4, Internal Strife.
Squad 7's suppression of the enemy camp on the West Bank gave us the foothold we needed. Now we'll join the Army's vassal battalion in Operation Cloudburst to take back the bridge. Militia forces will take the point, crossing the bridge and attacking the eastern camp.
Captain, crossing that bridge means breaching the enemy bridgehead. What sort of on-site backup and supplies can we expect from the Army on this?
The plan calls for the Army to commence its operation after we've struck the bridgehead.
Wait a minute. So we're just being offered up on a platter?
I know how you feel. I felt that way when I was a militia foot soldier too. But sometimes being a soldier means taking on tough missions, even dangerous ones.
Understood, Captain.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Faldio. Breaching that bridgehead by ourselves it's going to be tough.
Captain Virat, may I go observe the area around the bridge?
Observe it? I don't mind, but what do you...
Welkin!
Sergeant Melchiot, what is it?
Oh, sorry to interrupt the meeting.
We're finished, it's fine. Now, I assume there's a reason for your visit?
Yes, Captain. Welkin, I mean, Lieutenant Gunther, the squad, they're at each other's throats.
What?
Please stop them, sir. I tried to, but I couldn't.
You want me to break it up? I don't know. Maybe it'd be better to just let him have it out.
Let them have it out? You can't just ignore them.
I'm not ignoring them. I think it's important that they say what they're thinking. Butting heads over differing opinions can be one way to bring people closer together.
Well, but... that may be, but I still... Look, you can't just sit here while your squad's tearing itself apart. It's not right. Now get a move on, sir.
Hey, Alicia?
Sounds like he's got his hands full.
It's all part of growing as a team.
So it's more than just the internal strife within our own squad, it's also the distrust between the army and the militia. As you can see, if you remember that aristocrat army leader from the last episode, the guy with the mustache who was like, "Oh, peasants, we don't care about you." They're basically going to offer, well, serve us on a platter, as he said. This mission is not looking very good for us, so Welkin wants to observe the area to figure out if there's an alternative way to do this. But before that, we have to figure out why Largo and Rosie aren't getting along with Sarah.
Hold on! Okay, what's going on here?
You really have to ask, Lieutenant? It's either her or me, pal. Who let her in anyway? You really think I'm gonna work with a dark hair? She'll blow us all up. Besides, I can't stand the stink of her! Her type's got a bad reputation and everybody knows it. No Darcsens allowed. You hear me?
Oh yes, I've heard everything you have to say. But I'm still a human being the same as you. Besides, no evidence exists to substantiate what you call the Darcsen calamity. It's a myth.
Excuse me? So what, you're calling me stupid now?
Stop it, that's enough!
Okay, boss man. We won't fight alongside no Darcsen. What about that can't you understand? Another thing we ain't doing is taking orders from some hotshot greenhorn.
All right, fine. Now listen and listen good. I'll have that bridge back in Gallia's hands in 48 hours.
Huh?
Now, if my plan fails, which I doubt, then I'll resign. And Squad 7 will be all yours, Largo. But if my plan works, you'll take my orders and like it.
Your funeral, boss man. You sure about this?
Yes, I am.
But... wait a sec. Welkin?
Don't worry, girl. I got a plan for this. About sub-episodes. Some episodes listed in the book mode are marked with an asterisk. These are sub-episodes, often telling a side story tangential to the main plot. Whoops, my Norwegian shining through. For that reason, it is not necessary to view them in order to advance in the game. Though there is no penalty for skipping sub-episodes, they often offer a different perspective on the events unfolding in a story you won't find elsewhere. So, as you can probably imagine, we're going to view the sub-episodes. That's just how it goes.
Welkin?
What's up?
What's up? You just made an insane promise, that's what's up. I'm sorry, Welks. I shouldn't have argued. This is all my fault.
It's nobody's fault, Ys. It's a war. We're all on edge here. And this mission certainly isn't helping. It's little wonder the troops are upset.
Yeah?
That's why pulling this operation off is the perfect way to bring the squad together.
That'd be great if it works. But how can you possibly hope to take back the bridge in just 48 hours?
Well, that's the hard part. Aha!
Huh? Aha, what?
I was hoping, but there they are. Isara, Alicia, think you can do me a favor?
Sure, what is it?
You follow me?
But that's... is that even possible?
Well, Ys, think you could make it by tomorrow?
Yes, I'll get to work on it now. All right. I'll trust you on this.
Thanks, Alicia. Well, let's get started.
So obviously Welkin has a plan, and we get to know more about that plan coming up in The Crossing.
All right, let's hear this brilliant plan. And it's too late to back out, boss man. You got that? So let's hear it.
We're going to strike the enemy encampment on the east bank.
Whoa, hold it. You're asking us to die for you? One squad ain't breaching that bridgehead, buddy boy. That would be suicide.
We're not taking on the bridgehead. We're taking on this, the river. We'll use the fog as cover as we cross the river, then launch a surprise attack.
Oh, come on. Is this just some game to you, boyo? Swimming a couple of foot soldiers over there ain't gonna do much if we got no tanks.
Don't worry, I've got that covered. Isara?
I fitted the Edelweiss with water-resistant measures to allow for submersion. It will only hold for a few minutes, but it should be enough to cross.
Hold on just a sec. Ships come through here. It's gotta be too deep for a tank.
We're covered. Look, see that over there?
What's that? Grass?
Missile reed, a tall aquatic plant found in the estuaries of some rivers. I noticed them when I came down to observe the river. This stretch runs shallow. Shallow enough for a tank to drive across. Trust me on this.
First, the Edelweiss will cross over and clear out any Imperial patrols on the shore. Then Lieutenant Gunther will send up a flare, signaling the rest of us to follow by boat.
Right. Now let's get started. I'll see you on the other side.
or something?
Yeah, I do. What is it?
Beats me.
The Edelweiss swims just fine. Fall in, Sevens!
And the signal flare is up, signaling the operation of the battle for the bridge in Operation Cloudburst. And while I would love to do that right now, it's about to be a battle, which means that we need to upgrade our tanks and our men at the headquarters, but we also have some new skirmishes ready. Oh, I thought we had new skirmishes ready, don't we? It said that the... Oh, well, I guess I was wrong then, but it said that I had unlocked something. I was uncertain about what that was. Okay, regardless, I thought I'd unlocked something. I guess I hadn't. Oh, never mind. Oh, this is what I unlocked. Okay, so okay, now it makes more sense. So here's Castlefront Street with the rider girl.
Hey, Lieutenant! Off duty today? Your timing's perfect. There's something I want to show you. Won't take but a minute. Come on. Ta-da! It's the writing on the wall, written and published by yours truly. Why do this when I already have a radio news gig, you say? Sure, I could leave it up to the print news guys, but they're all lapdogs. The government censors everything. And not just a little cut here and there. In some cases, they'll bend the harsh truth into candy-sweet propaganda. I'm so sick of it. I want to give my readers the truth. That includes the bad stuff, too. So, this is my brilliant plan. The writing on the wall. Some things are only possible in out-of-the-way spots like this, out of sight from those government goons. I'll keep this space filled with up-to-date, absolutely factual info. No censorship. And your exploits will feature heavily, I'm sure. So yeah, come by and have a read sometime.
So in this part, we can read her little stories. And considering we are going to be doing this game as a perfectionist and check out as much as possible, we're also going to be doing some reading. That is sort of inevitable, so, well, bear with me here. Let's check out Signs of Gallian Resistance. In an interview given on the 8th, a spokesman for the Central Gallian Armed Forces suggested a massive anti-imperial counterstrike brewing. Should this come to pass, all eyes will be on how a force that is thus far specialized in retreat can stem the imperial incursion that claimed most of Gallia by last month's end and now stands before the gates of Rangris. It seems the militia will join the army proper on this bid to free the capital from a siege, a fear that has persisted for weeks now. Some suggest that this move is due to the army's desire to conserve its own manpower for combat within the city's walls, a very real possibility should this plan fail. So as you can see, Gallia's rising up for resistance. Pretty good. Now the flames of war sweep Europa. The Empire-owned and run Taris news outlet reported on the 6th that Imperial forces have claimed the coastal Federation city of Valua. If true, the Empire would now hold a supply route for Ragnite transit, greatly influencing their standing in southern Europa. Unlike the northern provinces, Europa's south lacks for Ragnite, meaning that supplies must be shipped in from somewhere else to sustain the Empire's offensive. The Empire's hold on Europa's southern coast means expansion of the conflict to all areas of the continent is more likely now than ever before. The Federation has yet to issue a statement regarding the Empire's alleged seizure of Valua at this time. Alleged, not alleged. Alright, so Gallia's raising up, but there's also a real possibility of war. So yeah, some good, some bad.
And while you're here, I want to put a book out someday, right? To put the truth in the hands of the people. But I'm just a radio news grunt, you know? I'll be paying for everything out of my own pocket. So I figured I'd ask you, in Think you could find it in your wallet's heart to help a girl get started?
So we can also spend money on her.
I'd make it worth your while.
Not in that way.
Feature in the book I write.
Yeah, exactly. Features in the book.
I still haven't decided what all I want to put in it, but I promise it'll be all about you. See this fat stack of notes? Got a ton of material already. So how about it? Call it an investment in the future rising star of authordom. Please.
So here we can spend some cash to get some pieces published. Sadly,
I plan on putting out new editions periodically, so drop by to check it out often. Especially after you've made some headlines on the battlefield. That's the perfect time to strike. I'm counting on you out there, Welkin. You need to keep me supplied with exciting material.
especially since we have other places to spend our money now that require it more. But let's check out the War Cemetery. This is a rather interesting place. So let's see what's up here.
Paying your respects? Sorry, I suppose that was a foolish question.
Actually, no, sir. I'm not here visiting anyone in particular.
Oh, then might I ask what brings you to a place like this?
I find it sobering, standing here in front of all those who died in the last war. That and seeing this much death reminds me that humans are just another part of nature.
Don't suppose I've ever heard that before. Judging from your clothes, you're militia.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Welkin Gunther. I'm in charge of Squad 7, Regiment 3.
Gunther. I see. Squad leader. Very impressive for a young man.
Not at all, sir. I'm still woefully inexperienced. One wrong order from me and my squad could wind up here. It's a huge responsibility.
You respect the weight of their lives. Here, let me teach you a special order.
An order, sir? I'm sorry. Who did you say you were?
Just a leftover from the last war. I'm afraid my orders require some experience, though. I can't in good faith teach them to those who lack the maturity to use them properly. Now, let's see. I'll teach you retreat today. Use it to command an injured unit to pull out of combat. Well, what is your decision?
Okay. First of all, his voice is freaking creepy. It did not fit. Second of all, retreat. I don't think I've actually ever used his order in battle. Does it pull them out of the combat, like, totally? Because that could be good to save some of our units from being blown up. Yeah, sure.
Very good. I hope my orders can assist you in saving the nation. I hope we'll meet again. Should you wish, you can likely find me here.
Alright, thanks, aged gentleman. This means a lot. Alright, so we pretty much don't have any experience to spend on the training field now after spending it all on that old man. So let's go see if we can upgrade our weapons a little bit.
Welkin, bro! I'm stoked you're here, man. What can I do you for?
Stop talking like that, Leon, please. Nobody likes you. Alright, since we spent so much on guns, let's get these body enhancements already. Let's reinforce the barrel, which gives us more range for our attacks. And the body, which gives us more HP overall. And the armor, which gives us more defense. We can now get more bigger upgrades of these, which is more body def and also anti-armor rounds. I can get only one. Let's get the anti-armor shell. Sounds good.
Here you go, bro.
And that's looking pretty good. Now let's get some of those. Can I get a new rifle? Okay, they've not been developed yet. Is there anything here that's new? that I can get? Not that I can see. Any new parts here? Attack support. Here we go with sight upgrade, which gives me more accuracy, which could be very good. So I'll take that, and we will put it down here. Alright. All those attacks are now done and complete.
Come back again soon, bro. I mean it, man.
And now I'm just considering whether or not to end the episode. The episode hasn't had enough in it to actually end it, but if I do the rest of the chapter, it might be too long. You know what we'll do? We'll go check out the 3 last tabs that we have not checked out yet, and then we'll jump into the mission. Now, if you're totally disinterested in this and just want to see the mission, you can go ahead, but we're going to be reading up. Don't worry, there's not a lot of text on each page, and it will be updated regularly, but I would like to know some about our men, because that's how this playthrough is going to be. So, make your choice. Alright, Welkin. Lieutenant, age 22, son of the late EW1, which is the European War, I suppose, or European as they say. I might say European, but you know what I mean. Choo choo choo! It's like an action figure. Pew, pew, pew. Let's see. Son of the late hero General Belkin Gunther and leader of Squad 7. While attending university, his focus lay in animal sociology. That was just my thing. Alicia Melchiot, Sergeant, age 19, Squad 7 Scout. While a team captain in the Brule Town Watch, she also worked as a live-in apprentice at the local bakery. Isara Gunther, Corporal, age 16, Squad 7 Tank Pilot, daughter of the late Darcsen engineer Professor Timer. She was adopted into the Gunther family as Welkin's sister. So again, she's not his real sister. Wait, can I change her outfit? Kawaii! Oh my god. Can I get her further down? There we go. Look at that face. Stop being so racist, please. Sorry, Sarah. Faldio Landsat, Lieutenant, age 23, Tank Commander and leader of Squad 1, an archaeology student at the same university as Welkin. His knowledge of history is considerable. That will probably be useful. Eleanor Verrett, 3rd Regiment Captain and direct superior to Welkin. She's one of the most feared yet respected officers in the Gallian military. Age 35, unmarried. Eleanor, is that how I say it? Eleanor? Eleanor. Eleanor, probably more correct. She almost sounds like one of my characters, Eleanor. Largo Pata. How do I... Wait, okay, I was gonna do something. Let's see. Dun. You're a wizard, Largo. Okay, done. Sergeant, age 36, Squad 7 Lancer. Since his initial conscription during the First European War, he has survived countless missions, making him the most experienced of the Sevens. So yeah, he's sort of an elitist, thinking everybody else is noobs, besides from Brigitte Stark. Her nickname is Rosie, Corporal, age 27, Squad 7 Shock Trooper. Formerly a bartender and songstress, she still bears the nickname Rosie, given to her by the bar-going regulars. So yeah, that's why she's called Rosie. Kreisch Cherny, Private First Class, age 20, a mechanic working in the militia's R&D facility. His primary responsibilities included weapons maintenance and repairs. Leon Schmidt, Private First Class, age 20, a member of the militia's R&D team. His chief task lay in development of new weapons. Georg von Daimon, General, age 54, born into a family with a long history of military service. He now commands the Central Gallian Force, including the militia. Martha Lipponen, age 38, nanny to the Gunther family. Like her mother before her, she helped raise Welkin and Isara since birth, as well as 5 of her own children. A presence in the Gunther house since she herself was a child, Martha became a surrogate parent and source of assurance to the orphaned Welkin and Isara. Martha's a baby. Jugo, 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 jugo. Can I zoom in on your face? Oh god. You are the baby destined to be the next breakdancer. Martha's son, born inside the Edelweiss on the day Brule fell to the Empire. He is Martha's 5th child. Oh damn, woman. Drill Instructor, Sergeant, age 48. Chief Drill Instructor at the military training grounds. His stern countenance and harsh words haunt the dreams of soldiers near and far. Aged Gentleman, age 52, a frequent visitor to the graves of his fallen European War I comrades. This doleful gentleman has begun passing his learned orders down to Welkin. Belgin Gunther, no image. Welkin's late father, widely regarded as a great hero for his contributions to preserving Gallia's independence during the First European War. Thymer, Isara's biological father and a gifted Darcsen inventor who contributed much to furthering Gallian technology. He built the Edelweiss for his friend after the First European War. Alex Raymond. So here comes the potential guys on our team. I can't remember if we actually have Alex. I don't think we have Alex. Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 17. His leap before you look brashness and flightly carefree nature have earned him the name Bird among his friends in the squad. Kevin Abbott, here we have him. Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 25. Skittish and introverted, he found interactions with others difficult. He seemed rather uncomfortable with his role as a Shock Trooper, yet we're making him a total badass. That's the fun thing about him. We saw how he performed in the battle for the bridge. I'm quite happy about that, Kevin. Salinas Milton, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 24. Handsome and smooth, he was always popular with the ladies. A bit of a Lothario, he's made many a beautiful woman cry. Mika Hawkins, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 26. A warrior and a perfectionist, he lets even minor details get to him, making him tiresome company but a skilled machinist. Wendy Cheslak, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 25. Tinkering with explosives filled his shut-ins days until an overly ambitious portion of gunpowder blew her house to bits. Okay. Crazy people. Eddie Nelson, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 17. As a self-proclaimed actress growing up in a tiny rural town, she was quite the starlet. Though proud, she lacks coping skills. Aisha Newman, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 12? Seriously? If I bring her into battle and she dies, I basically am responsible for the death of a 12. Oh god. Okay, I didn't know the age went down that far. I mean, we're pretty desperate for troops here. She earned secondary military training credit at a record age and was permitted to enlist after expressing a strong will to fight. Good for you, Jane Turner, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 27. I think I actually got you. Yeah, I did enlist you, and you're freaking creepy. A florist in Brule until the Imperial invasion destroyed her shop. Ever since, she has fostered deep hatred for the Empire. You mess with my flowers, I mess with your life. Dorothy Howard, Squad 7 Shock Trooper, age 18. Her family ran an ironworks factory in Fausen. She dreams of designing accessories made of precious metals. Reminds me of my ex. Hermes Kissinger, Squad 7 Scout, age 25. As a child at the open field, he dislikes cramped spaces. Slender and handsome, he is physically unable to not chat up any nearby ladies. Well, if you look like Hermes, and your last name is Kissinger, can you really be blamed? Melville Young, Squad 7 Scout, age 19. Full of more pep than he even knew what to do with, he enlisted. Friendly and upbeat, he is quick to befriend pretty much anyone. Probably extremely annoying. Ted Ustinov, Squad 7 Scout, age 16. His greatest love was always making others laugh, and his clowning persisted after enlistment. He's highly allergic to most metals. This guy is a clown, he loves making people laugh, and I think he died during my playthrough. He died during this huge desert mission, and I was so sad to lose him. I don't want to let him go. He's so cool. Wavy, Squad 7 Scout, age 35. Considerate and polite to a fault, his Darcsen school teacher rarely displays his emotions. But he does get along with his Sarah, which is why I like him. Montley Leonard, Squad 7 Scout, age 16. As a child of the Great Plains, he grew up around animals. One encounter with a longhorn stag left him deathly afraid of pointed objects. So now we even know the source of his negative trait, which I like the fact that they actually took the time to make that. Frisia York, Squad 7 Scout, age 18. Called the Dancer of the Sands, she roamed the desert as an entertainer until the Imperials attacked, killed business, driving her to enlist. Yuno Koren, Squad 7 Scout, age 22. A classmate of Welkin's at university, she possesses both brains and beauty in spades, making her the object of many a boy's desire. Really? All the cute girls on the team, this is the boy's desire? Damn. Cherry Stinnen. Let's call her Cherry Pops. Squad 7 Scouts, age 16. Trends and pretty boys form the center of her world, with Galleon Girl Weekly her preferred fix for top-notch photos of both. I'm a Barbie girl. Yes, you are. Ika Thompson, Squad 7 Scout, age 17. Childhood friend and co-conspirator with Visa. She came with him for a far-off land, half for adventure and half to keep him in line. Jan Walker, oh god. Squad 7 Lancer, age 27. Muscle sends him to the moon, whether they be his own or those of the other gens in the squad. His little sneezes are just adorable. I like Jan Walker, he's amazing, man. Niels Darden, Squad 7 Lancer, age 29. A denizen of the capital city's seedy underbelly, his was a solitary life. He remained undefeated through countless turf wars. Hector Calvi, Squad 7 Lancer, age 25. The former head of the local watch in his home village, he showed a natural leadership that won the respect of all his soldiers. Rosina Selden, Squad 7 Lancer, age 24. A sort of older sister figure to many Sevens, her teammates affectionately called her Lady Rose. She enjoys working out when off duty. Yoko Martin, Squad 7 Lancer, age 37. She ran a well-loved rancorous eatery until donating all the food in her larder to refugees one day and joining the militia. Elise Moore, Squad 7 Lancer, age 17. She was raised by her father, a fencing instructor to the nobility, who recommended she enlist as a way to harden her psyche. Alright. Herbert Nielsen, here we go, here's our engineer. Squad 7 engineer, age 18. This has taken a long time. Born in an arid region where the weather dictates one's day, he grew to avoid any energy expenditures he possibly could. Homer Perron, Squad 7 engineer, age 15. A sensitive soul dwells within the angelic exterior of this young boy who volunteered for service despite his frail constitution. Welcome, Homer. Dallas Wyatt. Wyatt. Squad 7 engineer, age 15. As the product of a girls' school for the well-off, she dreams of a life surrounded by flowers and shuns the unrefined company of men. She's a feminist. I'm joking. Ramsey Clements, Squad 7 engineer, age 21. Her love for tinkering with machines saw her enroll in a technical university. There she began work on developing new weapons. Alright, you fit as an engineer then. Nadine, I also had her on my team, I think. Squad 7 engineer, age 25. A Darcsen with a strong sense of responsibility and a wherewithal to fulfill it. She holds a master's degree in literature. I like the Darcsen. Oscar Berlertz, our new Deadeye sniper. Squad 7 sniper, age 15. He enlisted in order to keep his sickly younger brother safe. The scar on his forehead tells of a childhood attempted to do the same. Oh. That got dark. Marina Wolfstan, Squad 7 sniper, age 24. An aloof beauty, she keeps all others at a distance. Her father, a skilled hunter, trained her in the art of marksmanship from childhood. I really liked her as a sniper, but so far I see that Oscar is pretty much excelling in every other trait, so we'll see, Marina. I do like you, though. Especially your hair. Awesome. Medic, Squad 7 medic, age 17. Responsible for securing and treating Squad 7's wounded, she is well loved for her gentle touch and selfless dedication. And that's it. Holy Christ on a cracker, that was a lot of people. But you sat through it, I'm so glad. Now it's weaponry time! This isn't as much. Relax, it's okay. The Gallium, the type military rifle. I'm not gonna read up all the specifics. You can do that yourself. A standard rifle developed by Gallia's only arms manufacturer, the National Arsenal. Creating during the First European War, it was issued to Gallian soldiers and saw use in combat before the war's end. By minimizing changes made to the action of existing models, developers were able to save time in realizing their design while also allowing for a wide range of uses through further customization. Its name comes from its status as the first domestically designed rifle in the nation's history. Alright. The CM Car, type military rifle. Crafted by the Empire's top arms maker, Zeichmeister, CM Corporated, this rifle is one of the factors that enabled the Imperial armies to sweep across Europa. Substantially lighter than conventional rifles, the CM Car greatly improved unit mobility and won the thanks of those forced to carry them on their march. Its distinctive axe shape earned it the nickname Francisca among its users, so this is the rifle that our enemies are using, so it's always useful to know what kind of weapon they have too, you know? Mags, military machine gun. The First European War saw a variety of firearms developed to suit a broad spectrum of needs. Among them, the machine gun's stopping power made it exceptionally popular among arms makers, both within Gallia and abroad. Though models of all shapes and sizes saw use in combat, the Mag's machine gun was especially prized on the front lines for its portability. Excelling in rapid-fire speed and ease, it exhibited unparalleled performance in the close quarters of trench and urban operations. The CMMP. The CMMP boasts a degree of refinement so high it was lauded as Zeichmeister's ultimate masterpiece. Excelling in firepower, accuracy, and portability, it represents the pinnacle of everything required of a machine gun. Further sweetening the deal is the high concentration of pressed parts, easily manufactured at low cost. With these guns in hand, Imperial forces crossed Europa unchecked by the Federation and other nations. So the Imperials are pretty superior when it comes to the weaponry. This is an anti-tank lance, the Lancer. Gallia's most common anti-tank lance, developed as a way to allow foot soldiers to combat tanks unassisted. An armor-penetrating warhead is loaded onto the lance's tip, then fired at the target, detonating on impact. Though its power and effectiveness are indisputable, its considerable weight impedes the mobility of the user. The weapon draws its name from its use as a lance-shaped anti-armor device. Okay, you kinda had to stretch that a little bit to make it a land... Oh, it's a Lancar, not a Lancer. Why did I say Lancer? Lancar, anti-armor... Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, you're not stretching that much. GSR, a military sniper rifle. The GSR sniper rifle has its origins as a rifle made for use on horseback, built with all the know-how amassed during the Galleon's development. Its defining feature is the variable zoom sniper scope. Built in an era of semi-automatic handguns, the fully manual bolt-action GSR was half obsolete by the time it hit the production lines, but its exceptional firing accuracy and brilliantly made safety saw it continue to see use until the very end of the Second European War. B-type grenade. A wooden handle extends from the simple can-type explosive, made from a powdered ragnite mix that emits a characteristic blue glow upon detonation. It uses a friction-based fuse system in which the user first removes the safety cap at the handle's end, then pulls the internal ripcord to spark the fuse. Because the bomb detonates a few seconds after the fuse is ignited, requiring the user to swiftly throw it then seek cover from the blast, its operation requires some degree of safety training. Alright, here's the German version. The VBWF. Similar in basic construction to those used elsewhere, this friction-fused hand grenade is the official standard within the Imperial Army. Though the time delay until detonation can be adjusted via the dial or screw on the side of the device, most users were hesitant to deviate from the timing that had been drilled into them in training. I suppose. Tank time! The Edelweiss! Designed and constructed by Isara's late father Thymer, this tank's 360-degree rotating turret, fully automated loading system, and other innovations completely revolutionized tank technology. Built to be operated by two, Welkin mans the guns and issues commands to Isara, in control of both the wheel and wireless radio. Despite its age, it was among the first to use angled plating and other emergent concepts, yielding high performance on an early test stage. Its high cost was all that precluded its mass production. The light tank. Though originally developed before the outbreak of the Second European War, these tanks saw considerable use throughout the war. Taking the stage just as tanks began to see use as highly mobile units able to work in conjunction with troops on foot, this model came to define the epoch. I know what it means, but I don't know how to say it. By the beginning of the Second European War, however, they had begun to show signs of age and were outclassed by Federation counterparts in terms of frontal firepower. And guys and girls, that was it. Oh my. Just one more tab now, the glossary. Here we go. This is not going to be a common occurrence, okay? We're just going to check in for new updates now and then. It's not ever going to be this much. So let's knock it out of the park in this episode, okay? Hang tight. You and me. The Principality of Gallia. Full of nature and rich in Ragnite ore, Gallia borders the Empire to the east and the Federation on its western edge. This small Central European nation is a constitutional monarchy, ruled by House of Rangris, the hereditary sovereigns of Gallia. The first ruling ancestor of the house, revered as a legendary hero of the ancient war, the Valkyria, built a castle on the site of what is now the capital city Rangris, establishing it as the seat of Gallian rule. Despite its size of only 3,857 square kilometers and a population of just over 430,000, it boasts a rich and unique culture. The official currency is the ducat, and it is characterized by policies of armed neutrality and universal conscription. Gallia's history. The nation was formally born in the 3rd century when Castle Rangris was built and rule over surrounding areas began. When the Empire invaded Gallia at the turn of the 19th century, the king renounced his crown, instead ruling over an autonomous region within the Empire as Archduke. But as democratic movements swept across Western Europe, the Archduke harnessed the energy in Gallia to push for freedom from the Empire, resulting in the War of Gallian Independence. Stretched thin between multiple fronts, the Empire was unable to maintain its hold, and the small nation rose as the independent Principality of Gallia, declaring neutrality and establishing a system of universal conscription. Okay, so we've actually managed to fight them off before? Is that it? Gallia's topography. With the sea at its north and west and thick forest shielding it to the south, Gallia is naturally fortified against invasion, historically allowing it to repel even significantly larger foes. Hilly plains cover 60% of the nation's land, and its mountains contain a rich store of Ragnite ore, a valued source of energy. Large cities dot the flatlands to the north, while the rest of it is largely occupied by lush farmland. Gallia enjoys a temperate oceanic climate with little variation in rain levels throughout the year, and the soil is highly fertile. Because growing conditions for livestock and grain are equally favorable, Gallia practices a mixed form of agriculture. Brule. This small town lies on the imperial border at the eastern edge of Gallia. Windmills stand atop the crests of many of the region's rolling hills, but few are as large as the so-called sister mills, built from an old castle tower in the heart of town. Because it radiates out from the mill, Brule is also known as Miller's Home. The town supposedly began as a hideout for royal guard soldiers who revolted against the king. Perhaps in echo of that, this town of just under 8,000 nonetheless has an active town watch, and Brulers are famed for taking pride in guarding their homes themselves. Exports include dairy and bread made from locally grown wheat. Alicia be making that bread. The capital city, Rangris. The capital city of Gallia, since its days as a monarchy, this ancient city has the longest history of any in Europa. The city takes its name from the ancient war hero who founded it and began rule over the surrounding area, the ancestor of today's House Rangris. Surrounded by castle walls stretching 1 kilometer in diameter, the entire city stands as a citadel and contains the seat of Gallia's politics, economy, and culture. Castle Rangris, home to the Archduke, marks the iconic heart of the capital. Its single magnificent tower has been likened to a unicorn's horn, giving rise to the national crest that bears the likeness of the mythical beast. We're the Unicorn People. Military headquarters. The Gallian Army's central base stands amid a wooded area at the outskirts of the capital, known informally as Fort Amatriane, in honor of General Amatriane, who was responsible for restructuring Gallia's military and establishing this facility during European War I. Within its walls lie the Army's command room, offices, training grounds, hangars for weapon stores and maintenance, and other military facilities. It also holds living quarters, a mess hall, infirmary, and a relaxation lounge for soldiers themselves. Even R&D work on inventing new weaponry takes place in an on-base facility, with mechanics and engineers hard at work there around the clock. The Great Vassal Bridge. This massive iron drawbridge spans the Vassal River, which flows into Lake Gros near the walls of Castle Rangris. The bridge has its origins in the late medieval era, when it was built with 2 towers at either bank as part of a ring of defensive installations around the capital. A 19th century renovation saw it made into a retractable drawbridge with a unique accordion-fold design that allowed it to be operated by extending and retracting a single pair of cables. The city of Vassal, grew out from either side of the bridge, prosperous in its role as a transit gateway between the Gallian capital and the outside world, due to its key position on both ground routes and a series of canals connecting it to the North Sea. Europa. As a research-rich part of the largest landmass in the Northern Hemisphere, this land has inspired those with dreams of domination for millennia. In ancient times, the Valkyria managed to unite Europa under their rule, giving rise to a number of kingdoms. Subsequent divisions arose as influential leaders within each of the kingdoms chose to splinter off to form new nations, and it was not long before the first campaigns of conquest began. By the 1800s, the balance of power lay split between the East European Imperial Alliance and the Atlantic Federation, with the small nations and their shadows left to weather the waves caused by the clash of these two behemoths. The Eastern European Imperial Alliance. A conglomerate of nations united under the rule of the East European Emperor, commonly referred to as the Empire. The Industrial Revolution that occurred when Ragnarok was discovered as a useful energy source saw the nation of Eastern Europa, pioneers in machine technology, rise to power. Already tightly bound by a network of marriages amongst their royalty, these nations now joined hands in a formal international alliance. While not technically an autocracy, the Emperor enjoys limitless authority within the alliance. The Empire retains customs and practices held over from medieval times, and its people are known to harbor conservative views, including a strong hatred for the Darcsen race. So yeah, they can remind you a little bit of Nazi Germany. A little bit. EC, European calendar. This calendar, used across Europa, has at its origins the Valkyria conquest of the continent. Okay. The sentence confused me. For this reason, it is also known as the Valkyrian calendar. Each year is counted in relation to the year the Darcsen people were subdued and Europa was united as a continent. Years predating the unification are denoted as BC, or before conquest. The First European War. I'm actually kind of curious about this first war. We're in the second war, but I'm like, what happened before? Friction between Federation and empires surrounding Ragnite resources escalated into continent-wide war, the First European War. So basically we're having a repeat of the first war. Did you guys learn? Well, I guess we didn't really learn much either, considering how we handled World War I and what happened to Germany and all. Regardless, the Industrial Revolution of the 18th century led to skyrocketing demand for Ragnite, pitting Europa's twin giants in a race for resources. When the crown prince of the empire was assassinated at the start of the 20th century, tensions spiraled into an all-out war. Though the Imperial force employed a corps of newly developed tanks, hostilities soon became bogged down in fruitless trench warfare, and the two exhausted powers ultimately signed a ceasefire agreement. Okay, hold on. First of all, a crown prince gets assassinated, which I link to Franz Ferdinand getting assassinated in the Hungary. What's the name? I don't know the English name, but when Franz Ferdinand got assassinated, that was sort of what started the war, although there had been tensions from before. And he also said that they're getting bogged down in fruitless trench warfare, which is explaining World War I in a nutshell. So obviously there's very similarities here, but in this case they actually had a ceasefire agreement instead of totally crushing the East European alliance, the Federation, and making them thirst for revenge. So a little difference. During the war, Gallia's military, led by General Belgian Gunther's tank corps, foiled an imperial invasion attempt. Alright, so that's probably where our father got his fame. The Second European War. Beginning as an imperial incursion into Federation land, the Second European War quickly engulfed the entire continent in what became the largest scale war in Europa's history. Though the First European War ended in a stalemate, both powers had spent the intervening years stockpiling arms and preparing for the inevitable return to hostilities. After a short 20-year pause, the Empire began the invasion anew, taking 3 of the Federation's border republics in quick succession. The Federation responded with a formal declaration of war. It wasn't long before the forces of both superpowers began to spill across the borders of other neighboring nations. Soon, all of Europa was caught up in a war that dwarfed all those in memory. Universal conscription. One of Gallia's national precepts states that all citizens are eligible to be drafted into service in times of war. Enacted as a way to enforce the position of armed neutrality adopted after Gallia won its independence, the law prescribes the 3-stage draft according to need and applies to men and women alike. Schools of each level offer mandatory military education, and all citizens are required to graduate from middle school, meaning all Gallians have basic training in combat skills. Universities double as officer training schools, and graduates are eligible for the rank of lieutenant upon enlistment. The Gallian Army. A standing self-defense force serves to uphold Gallia's position of neutrality. As every citizen receives basic military training, most of Gallia is also guarded by independent watch groups, and defensive preparations are made on a town, neighborhood, and household level. In times of peace, Gallia's army is made up of 80,000 ground units, 10,000 marine units, and 2,000 military police units, in addition to the autonomous town watches found across the nation. When at war, a militia is drafted from the civilian public and assembled under the standing force, called the Gallian Army. Officers from the Gallian Army are assigned to lead militia regiments and battalions as necessary, which is what our dear friend Welkin is doing right now. The Gallian National Arsenal. As the nation's only arms manufacturer, the National Arsenal both develop and construct all of Gallia's weapons. Seeing the production of arms as a part of national defense, leaders elected to end weapons importation and founded a new domestic arsenal during the First European War. This also helped keep weapons technology and plans from leaking to foes. Professor Timer, creator of the tank that war hero General Gunther operated, was a major player in the arsenal's initial staff, matched only by Bernhard Brandl in skill. Brandl, who rose to lead the arsenal, is said to have amassed his considerable knowledge through close friendship with a number of talented Darcsen engineers. Seems that the Darcsens have a knack for the engineering. Tanks. At the turn of the 20th century, a time when trench combat was the primary form of warfare, these armored vehicles were created to break across defensive lines. Their design employs a Ragnaline fuel combustion engine in which energy is harnessed from the explosive ignition of liquid ragnite. Byproducts include a distinctive blue light and extreme heat, requiring the addition of a radiator at the tank's rear to prevent overheating. Originally used to cross trenches and as foot soldier support, economic and technological advances have seen tanks go to fill a number of combat roles. After the Empire applied highly mobile attack tanks in the First European War, all of Europa began to develop new vehicles, leading to the diverse array of models seen today. Ragnite. This is pretty essential though. As Europa's primary energy source, this ore has become vital to daily existence. Don't make me say that word. It gives off a big blue glow, okay, when releasing the energy it contains. Mined primarily in mountainous regions, the raw ore is then refined for use in any number of applications. Though the ore's existence was known in ancient times, it was not until the Valkyria brought the refinery technology to Europa that its use began. Note that they keep talking about the Valkyria, which is going to be important. I mean, this is the Valkyria Chronicles. Since the Industrial Revolution, it has become a vital ingredient to human civilization. A surging need for tank fuel and weaponry derived from the ore has recently driven Europa's nations to expand their borders in a growing war for resources. Uses of Ragnite, in case you wanted to know. Depending on the refinery methods used, Ragnite ore can produce various forms of energy suited to a spectrum of needs. Refined into liquid Ragnaline, it can fuel lamps or power vehicles, granting it a broad range of civilian uses. Its military application include tank fuel, an incendiary agent in flamethrowers, the explosive payload in hand grenades, and countless others. Medical scientists recently learned that the ore also acts as a painkiller, developing a controlled disinfectant and restorative agent known as Ragnite. New properties and applications for the ore continues to be discovered daily, and few doubt that this resource will only continue to grow in use and value. The Lion's Paw, a perennial plant found across Gallia, near and dear to the hearts of many as a sort of informal symbol of the nation. Distinguishing characteristics include small white star-shaped flowers and seed tufts often carried off by the wind like tiny snowflakes. Its leaves spread close to the ground surface in clusters, with stalks bearing the plant's flowers at their center. As an exceptionally hardy plant, they are known to thrive even under adverse conditions, weathering times of extreme hardship to bloom again the next year. Isn't it wonderful? Yes, it is. We read through all of that. That took like 20 minutes or something. That took so long. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect it to take that long, but now you know. We've gone through that. It'll be updated as we go along, learn new things. My hair is really weird this session. Don't care about that. Well, the battle for the bridge is about to begin, but if you want to see that, tune into the next episode. Sorry, that was kind of mean of me, but that's how it has to be. I'm trying to pace these episodes right, but considering the whole chapter format, it's kind of tricky sometimes, but that's what happened. Have a still good day, take care, and stay awesome. But most importantly, everybody, stay dark. Goodbye.